Good morning, everyone. Shall we start our class? So regarding the last class, study class, any doubt, any question? The last class we discussed what is network, what is networking, types of network we discussed till now. And we seem to establish the new LAN network. What are the requirements like systems, media, network devices? In that we require NIC cards, we require hub, we require switch. We discussed routers also. We see in the last class operating system, right? The Microsoft has given two operating system. One is client and one is a server. And we see the server is like first server is NT, then 2000, 2003, 2008, and 2012. In 2012, the last class we discussed, we have 4 editions: foundation, essential, standard, and data center. In a standard and data center, we have full features, unlimited users we can create. But the difference is what? In standard, we can create 2 virtual machines. In data center, we can create unlimited virtual machines, right? We discussed. Then the last session, we seen the practical also, right? How to install server operating system 2012. And we seen 2 practicals. One is converting 2012 server operating from graphical mode to command server core, right? And graphical to server core and server core to graphical. So all of you done the practical? Okay. So we are going to discuss next topic. The last class we seen to establish a new LAN network. We have total 5 requirements. Up to operating system we discussed, but the last one is what? IP address. Today we are starting the session with IP address. Then we'll go to the topologies of server then. Okay. So please write down the heading. Today was first topic is IP address. Now, what is IP stands, please? Internet protocol, right? Protocol means set of rules, we can say. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of address? Why we are using the word address? Why we require address? We require address to give a location, right? To find an identification to a place or to a person. We require address or not here, right? So, example, one day I want to go to my friend's house. I'm telling to the taxi driver, sir, please drop to me on my friend's house. It will drop? No, it will ask the question, sir, I don't know where your friend is staying. What is the address? So give me the address, give me the location so I can drop to you there, right? The same way in our network, we have number of machines. We are saying in our network, we have number of computers, and all these computers are connected with the centralized device by the help of switch. And we have 4 computers, example, computer 1, computer 2, computer 4, computer 3. And to connect this cable to our computer on our machines, we require NIC cards. Okay. So now, if these machines are in network, right now I'm saying these machines are in network. So if these machines are in network, by sitting on system 1, can I access system 2, system 3, system 4 data? Yes. Can we transfer the data from one PC to other PC? Yes, we can transfer. But before transferring the data, before reaching to next machine, we require address, we require location or not here. The system will want to send the data to system 4, computer 4. So we require address, we require a location, right? So that's why the Microsoft is saying by the help of IP address, we can give the address to our computer. And by the help of IP address, we can identify computer in our network to transfer the data there, right? So to each and every computer, if you want connectivity, we have a connectivity by the help of cables and switches. But if you want address, a communication between the machines, so to each and every computer, we require IP address, right? But you can see here where we are assigning the IP address. We are giving the IP address to our computer, right? But we are assigning the IP address to computer NIC card. And you can observe here this NIC card already is having one address. That address is called media access So please write down IP address is a logical address. IP address is a logical address. By using IP address, IP address is a logical address. By using IP address, we can establish communication. We can establish communication between the network devices. Please can you close it? IP address is a logical address. By using IP address, we can establish communication between the network devices. So what is the meaning of network devices? Network devices means computer, computer printer, computer scanner, right? Or computer internet, computer router. This is called what here? Network devices. So between the network device, if you want communication, right, we require IP address, right? Now, second thing is what? In our IT field, we have two types of version in IP. One is called IPv4 and one is a IPv6. So please write down this one. So please write down this one. We have two types of versions, IPv4 and IPv6. Is done over. So we have two types of versions of IP. One is IPv4 and one is the IPv6 here. So you can see here IPv4 is a 32-bit address and IPv6 is what? 128-bit. So what is the meaning of bit? Bit means binary language, 0 or 1 or combination of 0 or 1 you can say, right? So our computer will understand only binary language here. So I'm saying I'm using IPv4 here. So if I'm going for IPv4, how many bits I have to use? 32 bits. So example, this is our computer and to this computer NAC card, we require IP address. I'm going for IPv4. So how many bits I have to use? 32 bits, maybe 32 zeros or 32 ones I have to use here. So like this. So like this we have to use here. So now tell me you are the administrator and you're assigning the IP address like this to your machine and 32 bit. So now tell me after assigning the IP easily as a admin, can you remember this IP? Can you understand this IP? Or can you tell to your staff, to your employees that this is your machine IP, remember it? So that person can remember this address? No, because we cannot understand the binary language. We can understand decimal language like 0 to 9 here. So actually one organization is there who is working on this IP address, who is managing this IP address. That is called IANA organization. This organization is managing all the IP address concept. So this organization has given the task to its engineers to make this IP address easy for us. So what the network engineers has done, is divided this IPv4 32-bit into 4 octets. So what is octet? Octet means one block. One block technically is called what here? Octet. And each octet contains 8 bits, and each octet separated by dot, right? So like this example, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So this is one octet, this is 4, this is for one octet, for this is for one octet here. So this is one octet, this is second, this is third, and this is a fourth. So we have 4 octets. Each octet contain how many bits? 8 bits. If you add all these 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, it will become what here? 32 here, right? This is a 32 bit. Okay, but you can see here, if you take the example of the first octet, now tell me what is the first octet number here? Still this number is what here? Binary number, right? We require decimal value there, 0 to 9. We can understand. So the INA has given the task switch engineers to make this IP address easy for us. So the network engineers, by using the scientific value, that is a 2 to the power of n, so this network engineers has converted this binary to decimal. So once you convert this binary value to decimal, then your IPv4 first octet number start with 0, and the last octet number start with 255. So IPv4 address start from 0 to 255, you can say. But how many octets we have? 1 2 3 4. So we have to write like this: 0 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0. This is called start IP, and the end IP address is 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 255, you can say, right? So IPv4 range start from 0 dot 0 dot 0 to 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 255, you can say, right? So please write down there. IPv4 is a 32-bit address. Please write down, please. IPv4 is a 32-bit address. Is divided into 4 octets. Is divided into 4 octets. Each octet contained 8 bits. Is divided into 4 octets. Each octet contained 8 bits. And each octet separated by dot symbol. Each octet contains 8 bits, and each octet separated by dot symbol. Okay. Please, next point. IPv4 range start from IPv4 range start from 0 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0 to 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 255. IPv4 range start from 0 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0 to 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 255. Okay, so now tell me, I'm saying the range start from 0 to 255. Is a big range or a small range here? Is a big range, not a small range here, right? So if you're saying big range, how many addresses we have in this range? We have nearly 4.3 billion address. How many address here? 4.3 billion address we have. Okay, now what the INA has done is classified or is divided this big range into 5 classes here, and the classes names are class A. First try to understand. I will give you the chance to copy, then you can copy. See, here copying is not important here. Understanding the theory and concept is very important for you. So we have 5 classes: class A, class B, class C, class E, sorry, class A, class B, class C, class D, and class E. We have 5 classes here. And basically class A, class B, class C is designed for to establish communication in the LAN, MAN, and WAN. So in the LAN, in the MAN, in the WAN, if you want connectivity and communication between the machines, we require class A, class B, and class C. Class D is using for multicasting. Class E is using for research and developments here, right? Now every class is having their own range, specific range here, right? So class A range start from 0 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0 to 127 dot 255 dot 255 dot you can say You can say 255.255.255. This is a big range we have, right? Or you can say 0 to 127 also, right? And class B will start from 128 to 191. Class C will start from 192 to 223. Class D will start 224 to 239, and class E will start 240 to 255. These are the ranges we have. So, but basically in the real time when we are using only class A, class B, and class C to establish the communication in the LAN and MAN and WAN. Plus class D is for multicasting, class E for research and development here. Every class is having range. Class A from 0 to 127, class B 128 to 191, class C 192 to 223, class D 224 to 239, and class C 240 to 255 here. Okay, so please write down this one. And see it. IP address class is very important here. When you're learning any IT course, maybe MCSC, maybe Linux, maybe CCNA, maybe hardware and networking, you have to start your session with the IP address. If you know the IP address, if you know, so then easily you can see here when I'm designing the servers, when I'm creating the servers, or when you're making the machines in the network, so you can easily understand how the connectivity, how the user accessing the services there. Okay, so please write down this one. IPv4 is divided into 5 classes. Class A, B, C, we are using for LAN, MAN, WAN to establish communication. Class D for multicasting, and class E we are using for research and developments here. Is over. So in the real time when we are using only class A, class B, and class C to establish the communication in the LAN, MAN, WAN. So that's why here from here in the list I'm removing this class D and class E. We are not using in the LAN, MAN, WAN to establish communication. So you can see the class A range start from 0 to 127, class B 128 to 191, class C 192 to 223 here, right? For example, one day I went to the interview, the person is asking the question, sir, in my network, I have limited machines, 4 machines are there. Now to connect to the network and to establish communication, what we require. So I'm saying, sir, if you want this machine in network, first we have to go to all this machine, connect physically by using cables and switch. So this is called physical connectivity here. And we can say these machines are in network. And if you want communication between the computers, to each and every computer, we require address. And for communication purpose, we require IP address. So I'm saying, sir, go to each and every machine, assign the IP. But the person is saying, sir, to this machine, example, to this computer, I'm giving one IP address here. To this machine, example, I'm giving the IP address 181.0.0.5. So you have to find out this address is a which class address, class A, class B, or class C. Is a class B. So how we are giving answer is a class B by seeing first octet, or by seeing second octet, by seeing third octet, or by seeing last octet. By seeing first octet. So the first octet number is 181, and the 181 is coming under class B. So you can say by seeing the first octet, we are saying this is a class B. So this first octet is called network portion octet. It's called what here? Network portion. So by seeing this network portion octet, we are giving the answer is a which class address? Maybe class A, class B, or class C. Now, if anyone is asking, sir, what is the address of this computer? What is the address of this computer? So we have to say the last octet number is the address of this computer. So what is the last address? 5. And the computer also is called technically host here. It's called what here? Host. So what is the host address? The 5. You can say, sir, host address is 5, computer is 5. So this is called host portion here. It's called what here? Host portion. So in IPv4, we have two types of portions. One is network portion, one is a host portion. By seeing host portion, we are giving the address of the computer, right? And by seeing network portion, we are giving the answer is a which class address? Maybe class A, class B, or class C. And what is the network portion? Maybe 181, maybe 182, maybe 192. We are giving the answer. Okay. So example, to this machine, I'm giving the address 10.0.0.6. So now tell me, is a which class address? Is a class A, because you can see the class A range start from 0 to 127, and the first octet number is coming under 0 to 127. That is a class A. So you can say by seeing this network portion, I am saying this is a class A address, sir. And host portion is what here? 6. 6 is called computer address, is called host portion. So example, to this machine, I'm giving the address 200.0.0.8. So this address is a which class address? Is a class C here. So you can see the class C start from 192 to 223, and the first octet number is coming 200, and 200 is a network portion. And by seeing this one, we are saying this is a class C, and host portion is what here? 8. We can say that is called address of this computer is 8. So the Microsoft is saying in IPv4 we have two types of portions here. These portions are called octet format here. It's called what here? Octet. And we have class A, 1 network portion, 3 host portion is predefined by IANA organization, and class B, 2 network portion, 2 host portion, class C, 3 network portion and 1 host portion we have, right? And sometimes it's written like this also. In whenever you go to the MCSC exam or CCNA exam, in interviews, right? In interviews also is asking like this, sir, I have this address like this, 10.0.0.0/8. So what is the meaning of /8? /8 means what here? We have 1 network portion and 3 host portion, you can say, right? And class B, if you want to write, you have to write like this, /16, because you can say 1 network portion is having how many octets? Sorry, in 1 octet, how many bits are there? 8 bits are there. So that's why in class A, 1 network portion means 8 bits. In class B, we have 2 network portion, 8 plus 8. That is called what here? 16. In class C, if you want to write, so 8 plus 8 plus 8, that is what total? 24 you have to write, right? And by seeing this address, we can say, okay, this is a class A, class B, or class C. But how our computers will understand this is a class A address or class B or class C? By using subnet marks. So how to write the class A subnet marks, class B and class C? So if you want to write class A subnet marks, how many network portion? 1 network portion. In 1 network portion, how many bits are there? 8 bits, right? Now give the numbers to this 8 bits. This is 1, this is 2, this is 4, this is 8, this is 16, this is 32, this is 64, and this is 128, right? Now add all these numbers. It will become what? 255 here, right? So if we add, so class A subnet marks is writing like this, 255 dot, after that 3 host portions, means 3 zeros, 0.0.0, and class B, 255.255.0.0. You have to like this. Class C, if you want to write 255.255.255.0. So this is called what here? Class C subnet marks here, right? So this is called the default subnet marks. But you have to remember here, what is network portion, what is host. By seeing network portion, we are giving the answer which class address we are using, what is the number. And by host portion, we are giving the information what is the address of our computer here, right? So please copy this one. And please, if you're not getting any point anywhere, if you have a doubt, if I'm going fast So please request to me. Once again, I will repeat for you. Okay, is done, finished. So in IPv4, how many classes we have? We have total 5. But in the LAN, in the MAN, in the WAN, we are using only class A, class B, and class A. But you can see in class A we have range start IP address from 0 to 127. In class B we have 128 to 191. Class C we have 192 to 23. We have so many addresses are there. But in these addresses we have two types of addresses. The Microsoft is saying an IANA organization. So we have two addresses. One is called private IP address and one is called public IP address. So it's very important for us, if I'm becoming a system admin or network admin or desktop admin, what is private IP and what is a public IP. Now, what is private IP address? As the administrator, if I'm assigning the IP address with my own to my computers, that is called private IP address. So example, this is my office room. I have nearly 10 machines and all the 10 machines are connected physically to each other, right? So to first machine, I'm giving the address 10.0.1. Next machine, I'm giving 10.0.2. Next machine, I'm giving 10.0.3. As admin, I'm giving next machine 10.4, 10.5, 10.6, 10.7, 10.8, 10.9, 10.10, right? So to each and every machine, I have given one IP, and these machines are connected to network. So by sitting on system 1, 10.1 machine, can we access 10.10 machine data? Yes. By sitting on 10.10 machine, can we access the 10.5 machine data? Yes, we can access, right? So as an administrator, I have given the IP address to my computers with my own, right? And we have a connectivity and we have a communication. We can transfer the data by using this IP address, okay? But who is giving this IP address? As the admin with my own, I have given the IP address. But I'm taking any permission of Microsoft before assigning the IP? No. I'm taking any ISP permission? No. I'm paying any charges to ISP? No. So this IP is called private IP. It's called what here? Private. So with our own, if I'm assigning the IP address to my computers, to my devices, this is called what here? Private IP address, right? This is one. But private IP address is designed for to establish the connectivity and communication within the LAN, within the private network here, right? But the limitation is there. By using this private IP address, for example, you have one branch in Secunderabad, you have one more branch in Bangalore, you have one more branch in USA. So by using this private IP address, can you access the Bangalore branch computer data? Can you access the USA branch computer data? Can you access internet, Yahoo server, Microsoft server, Gmail server? No, we cannot access. So this is called what here? Private IP address. So with our own, when we are assigning the IP address to our computer, that is called what here? Private IP address. So in class A, practically, I can use any address of class A, I can use any address of class B, I can use any address of class C. There is no restriction. But we have to follow the rules here. And these rules are called INA rules, or this rule is called IEEE rules, right? So with our own, we cannot give any address from class A, class B, class C, because some specific ranges only is called private address, right? Apart from that, other are called public address. So what is a private address range of class A, class B, and class C? That is very important. We have to remember, we have to by heart this one. So class A, private address range start from 10. If any number is coming 10, and after that any number, 10.0.0 to 10.255.255.255. If any address is coming after 10, any number, right? After 10 dot, any number up to 255 is called what here? Private IP address of class A, you can say, right? But if I'm saying 9 dot, if I'm saying 11 dot, if I'm starting the IP 9.0.1 or 11.0.1, this is called private IP or public IP? This is called public IP. In class B, this specific range is called private IP address. That is called 17.16.0.0 to 17.31.255.255. If any address is coming in this range, right, 17.16 to 17.31, this is called what here? Class B private address range here. If I'm saying 170.32, if I'm giving address 170.32, it's called private or public? Public. If I'm saying 170.15, it's called private or public here? It's called public. But if any specific address is coming in this range, it's called what here? Class B private address range. Like class C, we have 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.255.255. This specific range is called what? Private address of class C. If I'm saying 190 to 169, it's called what? Public. If I'm saying 190 to 167, it's called private or public here? It's called what? Public here, right? So this specific three ranges are called what here? Private address. Any company, you can use this address to assign the IP to your computer and you can establish a communication, right? But most of the company in the world are using 190 to 168 address because the companies are having less than 255 systems here. Or you can see here in class C, how many computers we can assign the IP? How many computers? If I'm using class C address, how many address? 255 into 25, not plus 255 into 255. So it means how many? Nearly 65,535 computers we can assign. If you have more than 65,000 computers, then you have a class B. In class B, how many computers we can assign? How to calculate? The range is from 17.16.0 to 17.31.255.255. So do one thing. Minus 31 plus 16. How much? 15. 15 into 255 into 255. That many computers. Now, if you have big network, large network, right? So then you can go for class A. In class A, how many addresses we can assign? 255 into 255 into 255. It means around 16 million. How many here? 16 million computer at a time we can connect, we can establish the communication. So we have these three ranges, which is the best for you, right? You can use and you can assign the IP and establish the communication. But apart from these three ranges, other addresses called what here? Public IP address, right? So here, who is assigning the public IP? What is the use of public IP? Example, this is my home PC. I purchased one new PC in my home. I'm an end user. I want internet line in my computer. I want internet line in my computer. So who will give the internet line here? ISP. As a user, I have to contact to ISP, local service provider. ISP will give the internet line to my computer. But when ISP is giving internet line to my computer, I have to assign the IP to my machine, or ISP will assign the IP? ISP. So ISP is giving the IP address to my machine. So this IP is called public IP. This IP is called public IP. And this IP is not a free of cost. This internet line is not free of cost. Per month, we have to pay the charges for this internet line, for this IP address here. Okay. So ISP will charge some amount. We have to pay according to usage here. Public IP are unique in the world, and by using public IP address, we can establish the communication within the LAN. And by using public IP address, you can access other branch computer data also. Like you have one branch in Bangalore, you have one more branch in USA. So by using this public IP, can you access that branch computer data? Yes, we can share. The same time, can you access Yahoo server, Gmail server, Microsoft server? Yes, we can access here. So by using public IP, we can establish the communication within the LAN, and we can establish the communication over the internet with other branch computers also, right? And these public IPs are assigned by ISP. But ISPs are getting public IP from where? The ISPs are getting public IP from this organization. From which organization? INA. INA is giving the bunch of public IP to our ISP. And ISPs are assigning the public IP address to end user. We are the end user. We are taking one public IP to access internet here, right? So we have two addresses. One is private and one is a public. But in class A, right? Private address range is what here? Only 10 dot. In class B, 172 to 16 dot. In class C, 192, 168. Because by heart these numbers, this, right? Because this is very important, because when you're writing any exam, maybe MCSC, maybe CCNA, or any interview, if you go, it will ask this question. It will give you an IP. It will ask you, sir, please find out this is a class A private address range or class B or class C. Or it will ask like this, sir, this is a private or public. You have to identify this one. Okay. So please copy this one. Static means manual, sir. Static means what? Manually. And second one, what? Sir, static IP means manual. Maybe using any IP, you are going and assigning. This is called what here? Static. Public IP means is given by service provider. Take that IP and go to that machine, assign it. It's called what here? Static IP. But you have to ask the question like this, sir, what is static? What is dynamic, sir? Static means static means manual. Dynamic means what here? Automatic. Yes, sir? Sir, static IP means what? You have to take that IP. ISP person will not come to your office. On the phone, on the mail, they will inform to you. Take that IP and go to your machine, assign it. That is called what here? Static IP. Yes, sir. Host ID and you have to calculate, sir. 255 into 255 into 255. In class C, private address range, 255 into 255. This many address. Class B, by seeing these numbers, sir, by using max. What we have to do? 255 into 255. What is the last number here? 255 into 255. Right? So how many addresses? 65,535 nearly. How you have to calculate, sir? 31 minus 16. How much you will get? 15. Then 15 into 255 into 255. Now get the numbers and write it there. Okay. In class A, 255 into 255 into 255. This many addresses. It's done, everyone? Now please write down one point there. IP address concept is managing by IP address. Please write down fast this one. IP address concept is managing by IANA organization. IP address concept is managing by IANA organization. Any idea what is IANA stands? Yeah, that is correct. So please write down. IANA stands Internet Assign Numbers authority. Internet Assigned Numbers Authority. So this organization is managing all the IP addresses. Internet Assigned Numbers Authority. Done? Now, so within the LAN, if you want to establish connectivity communication, we require private IP or public IP address. Within the LAN, private IP. When you're connecting LAN to WAN, we require public IP from ISP, right? Now you can see in class A, we have so many addresses, class B, we have so many addresses, class C, we have so many addresses, but some specific ranges we have, which we are not using in the LAN, MAN, WAN to establish communication. Some addresses are there. Some specific ranges are there. We are not using in the LAN, MAN, WAN to establish communication. Like the first IP of IPv4. What is the first IP? 0. This complete range 0.0.0.0 to 0.255.255.255. This complete range is called network ID here. It's called what here? Network ID. We are not using in the LAN, MAN to establish communication. Why? So example, this is my machine. This is my machine NIC card. I want to give IP. So if I give like this IP 0.1.1.1. So not only is a valid IP or invalid IP address. Is a invalid. Why it is called invalid? Because number is starting from 0. Or if the number end with 0 also. So example, if I give the address 10.0.0.0, it's called valid or invalid. There is a no network portion, there is a no host portion here. Right? There is a no number. So this is called what here? Network ID. If I'm saying I'm giving 2000 rupees note to you, or I'm giving $100 to you, and the number is starting from 001. I'm saying I'm giving $100 to you, and the number is starting from 001. It's called valid or invalid $100. It's called invalid here. Okay. So same thing here. If any number start with 0, any number end with 0, this is called what here? Network ID. Like this, the last address of IPv4. That is what? 255.0.0.0 to this complete range 255.255.255.255. This complete range is called what here? Broadcast ID. Any number start with 255, any number end with 255. This is called what here? Broadcast ID. And we are not using the LAN, MAN, WAN to establish communication, right? Like this, you can see in class A. What is the class A address range? Example, one day we went to the interview and the person is asking this question, sir, what is the class A address range, sir? What we have to say? Class A address range, IPv4, 0 to 127, right? We are giving the answer 0 to 127, but one person is giving the answer 0 to 126. We are giving answer what? 0 to 127. One person is giving the answer 0 to 126. Now, which answer is correct? 0 to 127 or 0 to 126? Both answers are correct here. 0 to 127 and 0 to 126. But if any person is saying 0 to 126, you have to ask to that guy, sir, why you're saying 0 to 126? What about 127 address? This complete 127 address, 127.0.0.0 to complete range 127.255.255.255. This complete range is called, we are not using first of all in the LAN, MAN, WAN to establish communication. This complete range is called loop back address. This is called what here? Loop back. Now, what is the use of this loop back address? The loop back address is designed to test your NIC card, not computer. To test your NIC card. NIC card is a device. I want to know that whether this electronic device, NIC card, is properly functioning or not. So how to test? So go to the command prompt and run this command. Yeah, just 1 minute, please. Here, space is not there. So what we have to type? After assigning IP, before assigning IP, you can run this command to test your NIC card. So we have to type ping space after 127 address any number, after 127 number any number, 127.0.0.1, press enter. If you're getting 4 replies, so it means your NIC card is working. If you are getting a request timeout, so it means your NIC card is not working. You have to remove it. We have to change it. Okay. Now, like this in class B, right? We have one address. That address is called 169.254.0.0 to 169.254.255.255. This complete range. Any number start with this one. 169 to 254. This complete address is called IPA address. It's called what here? IPA address. So what is the use of this IPA address? IPA address is not used for communication purpose, is not used for to transfer the data from one PC to other PC, but our machine will get IP address, right? How? Example, right now this is my machine. This machine is connected to my network, and once you on this machine, my machine will run with my operating system or not here. But now tell me, my machine is having any, my machine NAC card is having any address? No. So my operating system will give an address to my computer. My operating system automatically will give one address to the computer, and that address is called what here? IP address. The range is start from 169.254, and this address is temporary address. This address is what here? Temporary. Once you give IP address to your machine, automatically this address is going to remove here. So who is assigning the IP address? Our any operating system. Our operating system temporarily is giving this address to my computer NAC card, but this address is not used for communication purpose, and this address is not used for to transfer the data here. Okay, so this address is given by operating system. That is called what here? IP path. So this address is called fixed 169.254 here, right? So please write down these 4 ranges. We are not using in the LAN, MAN, WAN to establish communication. Yes, sir. No, sir. No. Within the network, if you're communicating, communication means you can transfer the data also. Sir, intranet is a private network, sir. With LAN, it's called intranet. Names are different. No, it's not possible. So 0 dot is called what? Network ID. 255 is called broadcast ID. 127 complete range is called loop back address to test your NAC card. And the last one is 169.254. This complete range is called IP address. Yes, sir. Because you are not given. Machine is connected to network, but your NAC card is not having, manually we are not given any IP. So automatically they are getting IP address by operating system is generated. Okay, it's finished. IP stands, please write down. Automatic IP stands automatic private IP address. Automatic private IP address. Automatic private IP address. Okay, done. Now come to the practical, how to assign the IP address. Not only within the LAN, if you want connectivity and communication, so which IP we require? Public IP or private IP? We require private IP address, right? You can go for class 8 and dot, you can go for class B 172.16, or you can go for class C 192.168. But what rules we have to follow when we are assigning the IP address in the LAN computers, right? Because we are the system admin, we have to manage the LAN. So example, I have 2 computers. One is computer 1, one is a computer 2, and these 2 computers are connected to each other by using cable, by using NAC cards. To establish the communication to this machine NAC card, we require one IP. To this machine NAC card, we require one IP. Now, what rules we have to follow within the LAN when you are assigning the IP address? So within the LAN, first of all, we want direct communication. We require direct communication without any routers, without any other like network devices, right? We require direct communication. So if you want direct communication between the computers, you have to follow the rule. The rule is what? Network portion should be same, right? And host portion should be unique. Network portion should be same and host portion should be unique, right? Maybe you can use class A, class B, or class C, any address, but network portion should be same and host portion should be unique here. So example, to this machine, I'm giving the IP address 10.0.0.1. So now please find out this address is a which class address, class A, class B, or class C? Class A. What is the network portion? 10. 10 is coming in class A. So we are saying this is a class A address, right? Now what is the host portion? 1, right? Is the address of the computer. Now I want direct communication with my next computer. So to next computer, to system 2, what IP address I have to give? Class A, class B, or class A? Class A. In class A, what is the network portion I have to start? I have to start with the 10. So I have to start the class A 10. So I have to give here 10.0.0.2 unique address, right? So network portion is same. Yes. Host portions are unique. Yes. So you can say now direct communication is possible. So like this, go to next machine, give the IP 10.0.3. Go to next machine, give the IP 10.0.4. Go to next machine, give the IP 10.5. Like this, so on there. So you can say now every machine is having unique address and network portion is same. So you can find direct communication. So this is the first example, right? We have to follow this rule here. Now example, come to the second example. Estimate one day I went to the interview, the person is saying, sir, to first machine I have given the IP 10.0.1. Now you have to find out is a which class address. I'm saying, sir, this is a class A, network portion is 10, host portion is what here? 1 here. Now the person is saying, sir, to second machine, I'm giving this address 192.168.0.5. So here host portion is what here? 5. And this address is a class C address and network portion is what here? 192. So now tell me between these two computers, I'm using two different classes address and two different network portions also. So can you find direct communication here? No, here direct communication is not possible because the network portions are not same there. Okay. Okay. I have one more example here. Now example, next day to this machine, I'm giving the different address here. So example, first machine IP is 10.0.1. Next machine IP address is 15.0.0. Example 20. Right? Host portions are different. Uniques we have. First machine is 1. Second machine is 20. No problem there. But now tell me, direct communication is possible or not here? Yes. Why, sir? First is what? Class A 10 dot network. Second one is what? Class A 15 dot network. Your answer is wrong, sir. Listen to me. That is a very big problem. Really. This is my tip to you. If you want to become best and perfect and you want to pass your interview also. First, listen the question clearly. Then judge, then open your mouth to give the answer. On overconfidence, don't give the answers. Right? What is the rule here? Network portion should be same. Host portion should be unique. I'm not saying classes should be same here. I'm not saying what here? Classes. Here you are saying what? Classes. You are saying class A 10 dot, class A 15 dot is wrong here. Right? So both are the class A. But here what should be match? Network portion, not the classes here. So here direct communication is not possible here. But still if you want communication, direct communication is not possible. If you don't want to change, if you don't want to follow the first rule, then still you can communicate these two machines. But we require external device. That is what here? Router. So if you have two different network portions or two different classes, if you want communication, you require what here? Router. But tell me, within the LAN, I have hundreds of machines. Now tell me, we'll use router to connect? No. We are using what here? Switch to connect. So we require this first rule. Network portion should be same and host portion should be unique. But when we require router, we connect from one LAN to other LAN, one network to other network. Then we require router here, right? So remember here, in the LAN, if you want direct communication, network portion should be same and host portion should be unique here. So please, in the lab, we have nearly 24 machines. And all the 24 machines are connected to one single switch in the single network here, right? So if you're sitting on system 1, give the IP address 10.0.1 here. If you're sitting on system 2, give the IP 10.0.2 here. Because you can see here on the monitor, one white color label is there. Right? On that label, the system names are written. System 1, System 2, System 3, System 4. If you're sitting on System 4, give the IP 10.0.4. If you're sitting on System 10, give the IP 10.0.10. Because every machine requires unique IP. If you repeat the same IP to other computer, then what problem you're going to face? That is called IP conflict problem. Because this right now we given the same address to two computers. So this two computers not in the network, we cannot communicate these two machines here. Okay. So every machine we require unique IP address here, right? So we'll see now the practical how to assign IP address. But I'm not giving any steps here to you how to assign the IP, because so many times in our home, in our laptop, in our office machines, we done this configuration, we done this one, how to assign the IP. By seeing this one, you can understand. And today, after the session is completed, when you're going to the lab, MCSC lab to do the practical, your first lab is what? Assigning the IP address. But follow the rule. Network version should be same and host version should be unique. So in the class, in the lab, I'm using class A 10 dot network, right? So right now, the last class, what we have done, we created one machine. You can see I'm using one virtual machine here. You can see I'm using the Hyper-V service. Sorry, I'm using here VMware. I have so many machines here, but for your sessions, I'm using System 1 and System 2. When the requirement is there, I will switch to other machines also. So we have two machines, System 1 and System 2 here. So you can see here System 1, the first machine is my System 1, second machine is my System 2. But remember here, who is having right to assign the IP address? The employees, your staff, your users are having right to assign the IP? No, only administrator. So whenever you want to modify the IP or assign the IP, change the IP, we have to log in as a administrator. Remember here. So I'm going to my System 1 machine here. Yes, sir. Any question? Any doubt? You're not assigned the IP. See this one. I'm showing 2 times. Then easily can understand how to assign the IP. When you go to the lab, easily can assign the IP. I'm not saying I'm not showing. I'm showing, but I'm not giving steps here. Okay. So you can see this is the System 1. The last class, what we have done, we installed the server operating system. We logged as a administrator. If you want to know, right click on computer icon, go to the properties. You can see I'm using 2012 server operating system, and this is my System 1 computer here. Okay. Please 1 minute here. Okay, this is my System 1 computer. Okay. Now first I want to know in this machine how many NAC cards are there, whether it's plugged to my network or not. Then I will assign the IP address. So if you want to assign the IP address, right click on your network icon. If the network icon is not there on desktop, we know how to get. Or you can see it in the down right side, you have small network icon here. You can right click and go to the open network and sharing. But I will go to the desktop screen here. Right click on this network icon, click on properties. One new page will open. We are in network sharing and center. So we have one option that is called change adapter setting. And here your NAC cards are called adapters here. It's called what here? Adapter. So click on change adapter settings. One new page will open and you can see we have one NAC card. Name is what? Ethernet 0. But in previous operating systems, your NAC card names are local area connection. It's called what here? Local. But you can see here, are you getting one red color X mark here? No. So it means it's plugged to my network. It's plugged to my network. And this NAC card is blue color. So it means enable also there. So right click on this NAC card. Now first check IP is there or not here. Right now, I think there is a no IP address here. If you right click, if you go to the status here, right? If you go to the details here, there is a no IP. And this IP address is what here? Automatic IP address. And this IP is what here? IP address. But we want to assign the IP address. So how to assign the IP? Right click on this Ethernet and click on properties. And if you come down, you can see this is a 2012 OS. And we can give IPv6 also, or we can give IPv4. We can assign both, right? Or any one. So I'm going for IPv4. So I have to select Internet Protocol version 4. And please don't uncheck or check these boxes. If you uncheck or check, means you're removing the service. You don't want this service action. We want service, but we want to use this service. So select the name, Internet Protocol version 4. Click on this name and click on properties. The page will open and there is a no IP address, right? But before assigning the IP, I want to know that whether this machine NAC card properly functioning or not here. So what we have to do, go to the command prompt, use the loopback address. If I type here ping space 127 127 dot, after 127 any number like 2.1.0 or 1, last one is 1, enter. Are you getting reply? Yes. Or you can type like this here, ping space 127.0.0.1, enter. Are you getting reply? So it means my NAC card is properly working here, right? Now assign the IP. So to assign the IP address, we have to select this option. Which option? Use the following IP. If I select this option, this is called manual IP. Technically, it's called static IP, right? So select the use the following IP. And you can see there are so many addresses are there. IP address, subnet marks, default gateway, preferred DNS, alternate. But today I require only IP address and subnet marks. I'm not going today what is default gateway, what is preferred DNS address, what is alternate. When the time is coming, right, session is coming, on the day we'll discuss about this one. Okay. So we require only IP address. So select the IP address and give the IP. So I'm giving here 10.0.0.1 because this is my system one. I'm giving IP 10.1. And what is the subnet marks here? That is 255.0.0.0 because this is a class A. Or if you don't want to type manually, or if you're confused, right, do one thing, handle this job to your computer operating system, because your computer operating system is having good knowledge is a which class address, maybe A, maybe B, maybe a C. Just click in this box, it will take automatically, right? So you can assign manually or you can click, it will take automatically. So that is correct. Yes, 255.0.0.0 because 10 dot is a class A address. So click on OK, click OK and click on OK. And if you want to know the address, right click and go to the status, select the details, and you can see your IP address is 10.0.0.1 there. Please 1 minute, excuse me. Okay, so what is the IP address? 10.0.0.1. Or if you want to know through command, so you can open the command prompt and you can type here ipconfig, enter. Once you type ipconfig, you can see your system IP address is 10.0.0.1 here. Okay, now like this, go to the next machine. I have one more machine here, so I'm moving to two machines. I created two machines here, so I'm moving to my system 2 machine here. So if I go to the system 2, I have to log in as a administrator. But remember here, the method and procedure of assigning IP address is same in all Microsoft operating system. Maybe you're assigning the IP to XP machine or Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10 or 2003, 2008 server OS, 2012. The method procedure is what here? Same. So this is my second machine. I have to log in as a first administrator, and our admin password is zoom_123, enter. And after login, if you're not having desktop icons, we know how to collect the desktop icons, how to get this one. So I logged as admin. First check the computer name here. If I right click on computer icon, if I go to the properties here. So in this machine, I'm using same OS 2012. This machine is my system 2, right? I want to assign the IP. So right click on network icon, click on properties, click on change adapter setting option, right click on this Ethernet and click on properties and select the IPv4. If you come down, select the IPv4, click on properties and assign the IP. Select the use of following IP, give the IP address 10.0.0.2, right? And subnet marks, click on this one 255.0.0.0, and default gateway preferred DNS alternate is not required today. When the session is coming, on the day we'll discuss. Okay, so just click OK, and click on close there. Okay, now if you want to know through command what is the IP, so go to the command prompt and type here what? ipconfig, and you can see the IP address of this machine is 10.0.0.2. But after the assigning IP, I want to know communication is there between system 1 and system 2 or not. How to know this one? By using ping command. Okay, so we are typing ping space my machine address or other machine address? Other machine. So what is other machine address? 10.0.1, enter. Are you getting reply? Yes, we are getting reply 10.0.0.1. So it means we have a IPs are correct, communication there. But today I'm not showing how to transfer the data. How to transfer the data? We have a session on the day we'll discuss about this one. That is called permission classes there. On the day I will show you by using IP address how to transfer the data from one PC to other PC, right? But you have to do one more thing here that is very important. After assigning IP, close this one, and we are in network and sharing center. You can see if you come down, are you finding one option Windows firewall here? So we have to go to the Windows firewall and you have to go to this option, turn Windows firewall on or off, and we have to disable the firewall. By default firewall is on like this. Now here if the firewall feature is on, now if I go to the system 1, from system 1, right now I'm sitting on system 1 computer, you can see here the IP of my machine is 10.0.1. From here if I ping to 10.0.0.2, check whether we are getting reply or not. Are you getting reply? Yes, because in the same network. But sometimes what happening here, if the firewall feature is on, okay, communication is there, but if the firewall feature is on, connectivity is there, communication is there, but you cannot transfer the data. You cannot transfer the data. So within the LAN, what we have to do, we have to disable the firewall. So how to disable the firewall? We have to right click on network icon, go to the properties, and we are in network and sharing center. We have to go to the down Windows firewall and go to the turn Windows firewall on or off, and we have to select here off and turn off, right? Click OK. If the firewall is off, then the system 2 can transfer the data to system 1, and the system 1 can access the system 2 data there. So within the LAN, we have to disable the firewall. But we have one question here. So many students will ask this question, sir, whenever word is coming firewall, in our mind, what is the meaning of firewall? Security. That is very good. So firewall means security. Firewall is providing security. But where we require security, first tell me. Within the LAN computers, or we connecting LAN to WAN? LAN to WAN. We require their security, not within the LAN. Within the LAN, we are connecting the machines. Why? Because to transfer the data from one PC to other PC. So in the LAN, in all computers, we have to disable the firewall service, right? If the firewall is on, connectivity is there, IPs are correct, but we cannot transfer the data. But when we require firewall, when you're connecting from LAN to over the internet, LAN to WAN, so we are using firewall routers, we are using firewall devices. There we have to enable the firewall feature here, right? So within the LAN, we require unique IP address to each and every machine, and we have to disable the firewall in all computers here. Okay, so successfully till now we assign the IP address, and we have a connectivity, and we have a communication here. Okay, any doubt? Now come to the next topic, write down the heading. So please write down our next topic, that is topologies. You can say topology, or you can say topologies. Please 1 minute here. Okay, so our next topic is topologies. So what is the meaning of topology? Topology means what? Topology means structure of network or architecture of network. Structure of network or architecture of network, that is called what here? Topology here. So in topology, we have two types of topology. One is called physical topology, and the second one is called logical topology. One is physical and one is a logical. So what is the meaning of physical? What is the meaning of logical? Physical means general meaning of physical and logical. Physical means which we can see. It's called physical. Logical means just we can assume. I'm saying this is my server. It's called physical or logical. I think this machine is in front of you. This is called physical or logical? Physical. I'm saying I have some servers in Banjarais branch. It's called physical or logical? Logical. So the Microsoft is saying physical means right, which things are available in front of you. This is called physical. Okay. So in physical topology, we have so many types of topology. Like we have star, we have tree, we have bus, we have ring, we have mesh. There are so many are there. Okay. So we'll see what first in physical topology. What is bus topology? Now try to understand here. In bus topology, we have number of machines. So example, I have nearly 100 machines. And all these machines, I'm saying this is a bus topology network. And this machine in bus topology, we are not using switch, we are not using hub to connect all the machine. And backside of your PC, we are not having NAC cards also. But how these machines are connected? These machines are connected by single cable. And yeah, backside we have T shape of connector, right? This side is going to connect to your machine, and by using this shape, the cable is crossing from here. Okay, so backside we have T shape of connector. By using this connector, our cable is crossing here. Okay, so now this is called bus topology. In bus topology, all the machines are connected serially to each other. So by sitting on system 1, can we access system 2, system 3, system 4 data? Yes or no? Yes. But estimate here, after some time, cable is break between system 2 and system 3. Cable is break between system 2 and system 3. So now tell me, by sitting on system 1, can we access system 3, system 4, other machine data? No. And you are the administrator. One of the user is calling, is saying, sir, I'm sitting on system 1. I'm unable to access the other machine data. I'm unable to access the other machine